Protesters in Bangladesh have one demand: the government must step down immediately. And they say they'll stay in the streets until they do. Students and opposition supporters want justice after an estimated 200 people were killed and thousands injured last month while protesting against a government job quota scheme. The scheme has been dropped, but that's not enough for the protesters.
The situation in Bangladesh and the carnage happened because of the government and their failure. They have done all this killing and oppression. Nothing would have happened if they would have met the demand of the quota reform earlier.
Yes, I want to step down Sheikh Hasina!
Students have gathered across the city, including at Shabak Square by the Dhaka University campus. We're getting reports of clashes with police and ruling party members from different parts of the country with heavy casualties. The whole country remains very volatile, dangerous and tense. Violence is a result of these clashes between the students, police, supporters of the opposition groups and supporters of the ruling party, the Awami League. Authorities have closed schools and universities across the country, blocked internet access and imposed a shoot-on-sight curfew.
She thought they could stop us by closing educational institutions, but you cannot stop us. Still, there is the mark of bloodstains on the road.
Protesters want to bring the whole country to a standstill, calling on the public to stop working and paying bills. A group attacked a major public hospital and a community center. Homes have been vandalized and some threaten more.
All the ministers are in hiding. Wait and see how the people will go and surround the Prime Minister's house. If Sheikh Hasina doesn't resign voluntarily, we will take our next step.
Sheikh Hasina blames the main opposition, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and now banned right-wing Jamaat-e-Islami Party for instigating violence and has pledged to investigate the deaths and sit with protesters. But they say they only want her resignation. Tanvir, Jazeera, Dhaka.
Now, Bangladesh's Minister for Information spoke with my colleague Neve Barker last week on Talk to Al Jazeera. He said that opponents of the government were taking advantage of the protests.
We as a government, of course it is our responsibility to bring back the peace. And we did everything that we need to do to bring back the peace. We have to do it because it's our responsibility to protect the lives of the people. Therefore, we tried our best to diffuse the tension as much as possible. We tried our best to de-escalate the tension so that we can quickly bring back the peace. But because of the, some people who are trying to add fuel to the fire, are trying to create a situation where they can, take advantage of it and topple the government, they went to that extent, we believe, and it is getting more obvious now. Therefore, it made it difficult for us.
Mohammad Ashrafuzzaman is an exiled human rights activist, joins us now live from Athens in Ohio in the US. Good to have you with us on the programme. Can I just get your initial reaction first to the people that you might be speaking to in Bangladesh and how they see this situation developing over the past few weeks?
Thank you very much. The situation is extremely volatile and unprecedented in the history of Bangladesh. Personally, I have opportunities to talk to journalists of international media and some national media, as well as human rights defenders on the ground and some victims and their families. So what we are hearing from them is it's a grave situation on the ground as all the law enforcement agencies, security forces, including the armed forces, the Bangladesh Army, the Border Guards Bangladesh, the Rapid Action Battalion, the SWAT team of the police, the Counter-Terrorism and Transnational Crime Unit of the police, all of the units are on the ground with lethal weapons to kill the unarmed protesters, and that is horrific. And so far, it has killed at least 32 children, as UNICEF has reported already. And then we have seen in last month, over 200 protesters have been killed by bullet shots. And
let me just jump in there. Let me just jump in there, sir, just for a moment, because obviously we want to hear what people are actually saying to you right now. We know the general logistics of who has done what and how many people have been killed and injured. Right here and now, sir, give me one story of one person who's been speaking to you and telling me what they've experienced and what they've seen.
A journalist of international media, I will not take the name.
I'd rather not have a journalist, sir. I'd rather have a member of the public, but somebody that's actually been affected.
Okay, so a member of the public that reached out to me and said that the ruling party leaders are threatening in their areas that they will eliminate everybody who participated in the protest, and they will go door to door and take them out, and they will be, eliminated. So that gives a gruesome, a dreadful feeling to the citizens, and you don't know that what is going to happen to those people for participating in the protest if the government is remaining there.
Thank you for that. Now, I do also appreciate that this all began with an objection to government quotas on civil service jobs being protected. That's all gone away. But we wonder why the anger has remained in the public sphere.
There are many reasons. First of all, this government did not allow the young generation who are between 18 to 30 years of age in last more than a decade to exercise their right to vote since Sheikh Hasina has assumed to the office in January 2009. Then there has been a pattern of gross human rights violations like enforced disappearances, what the country did not experience in the previous decades until Sheikh Hasina came in 2009. There has been large number of extrajudicial executions and torture, maiming people, and all of these has been dealt with heavy-handed law enforcement and ruling party affiliated people. Simply whenever they expressed their dissent and whenever they tried to criticize that, and regardless whether the person is a writer, whether the person is an artist or a cartoonist or a human rights defender, so every professional, whoever has spoken out about the situation of Bangladesh, they have faced reprisals. They have faced arbitrary incarceration.
If this is the case, then, as you heard, you may have heard the Information Minister speaking to us on Talk to Al Jazeera only last week, pinning the blame on opposition factions, accusing the BNP and its supporters of being behind the demonstrations. How likely is it that Khalida Zia, the opposition leader, and her supporters are fanning the flames of discontent across Bangladesh?
I think that is the great mistake that the Information Minister and his government has done by blaming this, because the protesters, they know that they don't belong to BNP, they don't belong to the Jamaat or any other of those organizations. Even the BNP know that they have a very little stake in this movement because they did not organize this, they did not lead this, and they did not have capacity to continue this movement to this extent over a month. So this is absolutely a kind of unfounded conspiracy theory that the government is believing. And if they are true that the BNP is that capable of doing this, then they should not be there. They should hand over the state power to the BNP if they are telling the truth to the people.
OK, well, we'll see what does happen, certainly in the next few days. Very difficult situation for those living in Bangladesh right now. Mohammad Ashrafuzzaman joining us from Ohio in the US. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.